Hello.
Hi.
So what made you want to become a teacher?
So when I was in middle school and high school, I had a lot of art teachers that were not incredibly supportive to students that had different visual characteristic styles. They definitely had a very clear vision of what they were looking for. And because of that, I found that I wasn't getting a lot of the support I needed, and so I pretty much decided when I was in high school that I wanted to be an art teacher to help kind of like change that.
Why do you think art is important?
I think it allows people to express themselves in a visual way that helps other people to be able to understand whatever they're trying to communicate.
What drew you to art?
Well, I grew up, both of my parents were practicing artists. My dad and mom both dabbled in painting and drawing. My mom also does a lot of sculpture-based jewelry. So I just was around it a lot growing up.
What kind of student were you in high school?
I will be very honest. I did not have a lot of interest in school up until the point that I realized that I needed to go to college to be able to get the job that I wanted, and started applying myself pretty much as a junior or senior.
What do you think makes your class more fun or exciting than other classes?
I mean, I think a lot of people don't do a lot of practical building processes, and I mean that's different than a lot of different subjects, but it's stuff that you can apply later in life, and so think about even learning some of woodworking type skills. Then you could eventually use that knowledge and transfer it into something in a future home or an apartment or something. I think it's fun for people to be able to learn a lot of tactile processes because it's very physical rather than just like pencil and paper. So I think that's a big sell.
What's your favorite time of the school day?
I'm a morning person, hands down. I get up early. Several days during the week I teach yoga before I come into school, so definitely morning time.
How do you think being as interested in art as you are transfers over into your personal life?
I mean, I do a lot of things that are creative outside of school, so I think that creativity kind of comes from that. I will also say, I enjoy spending a lot of time going to places like art museums and art shows where local artisans are selling their work or showing their work. I will say I listen to a lot of yoga music, and that is a subjective way to say music that doesn't have a lot of audio, but that has enough beat to it that I'm able to kind of click into it. I would say other than that, I listen to alternative. I listen to country. I listen to some old school rap and R&B. I'm kind of all over the place.
Do you enjoy plants, and why?
I do enjoy plants. Why do I enjoy them? I think they make the space feel more comforting. I don't have that many here, but I do have probably about 25 of them at my house. So yeah, I have a lot of plants. Definitely enjoy them.
What is your New Year's resolution?
I don't know that I have a New Year's resolution. I also think New Year's resolutions or goals can often put a lot of pressure on people. So I like to set intentions, which I think are steps that lead you to that goal. So what are you focusing on for the time being?
Do you think that you could win Survivor?
I have no idea. I would like to think that I probably could. It's been a long time since I've seen Survivor, so I don't know what they're making people do now, but I don't know. Maybe.
What is something you accomplished last year?
Well, I made it through a year of hybrid teaching as an educator. Came out on the other side. Not entirely sure this year's a whole lot better, but it was a big deal for me, for sure. Yeah.
Is school a good atmosphere for you?
It is. I really like the teachers that I work with within the visual arts department. I think we work really well together, and I love my classes. This is what I've wanted to do since I was about 13 or 14, and it's a lot of fun to be able to see those processes and those ideas kind of click with my students, and then see them year after year kind of transform and grow.
What is the last show you binge watched?
The one that I most recently watched was Yellowstone, which is also really good. It's about a family of ranchers.
Are you more of a movie person or a show person?
Totally a show. Movies, they require your attention for 2 or 3 hours at a time, and you have to, the story starts and finishes within that span, whereas TV shows, they're much longer span, and I can sit and watch, 6 hours, 6 episodes of an hour-long TV show and be totally okay. But then a movie, you have to just be so committed to it that
Is something that you are proud of?
I bought a house by myself during the middle of a pandemic. So yeah, I'm proud of that I own a home.
What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a Subaru Forester.
Me too! If you had $1 million, what would be the first thing you spent it on?
It wouldn't be like all at once, but it would be to travel. I grew up in a military family, and we traveled every couple of years, whether we were stationed overseas for a period of time or we took family trips. And I haven't been able to do much of that in the last 6 years since I've been teaching.
Where's your dream travel spot right now?
So I lived in Okinawa, Japan when I was in middle school, and that is definitely on my top 5 of places that I'd like to go back and visit because it's changed a lot since I was in middle school, but it's a small island off the mainland. So I would say number 1 would be there. Places I haven't been that I'd like to go to would be India. I don't have a specific area in mind, but I want to see a lot of the Buddhist landmarks and like monuments and that kind of stuff. Monuments not the right word, but like sites.
How do you think growing up in a military family affected you?
It definitely affected me a lot. I mean, I moved every 3 years up until 8th grade, and I finished 8th grade through high school in the same spot. And so having to make new friends and reacquaint myself with different policies within schools or expectations within teachers changed. I think was more comfortable leaving high school, making new friends and figuring out who I was as a person because I basically got to reinvent myself every 3 years. Nobody knew who I was prior to that. So I think it really impacted who I am today for sure.
How do you think that translated into your teaching style?
I think I'm a lot more, I shouldn't say a lot more, but I am very aware of different cultural practices is not the right word, but differences, I guess. I'm more understanding and receptive to recognizing the differences between people and students in particular, obviously. But I mean, a lot of that appreciation came from being around people that were American citizens or people that were not American citizens and kind of just being able to interact with that at such an early age.